Possibilities. The text submitted to me was claimed to be a Xeroxed copy of an ancient parchment found in a cave in Sichuan province, near Fuchao. Well, how this document came into the hands of Mr. Zandavesta of Sublime Publications, he did not say. When queried, his response is a genial grin. It is possible, then, that this text is fraudulent, or, if genuine, extremely corrupt. Neither one of these theories is true, or I am somehow no longer able to make modern English sense out of ancient Chinese. In all honesty, it sometimes seems with this text that I can no longer even read the language. Brushstrokes look like chicken scratchings in the sand. And yet, the book of the Yellow Ancestor is definitely not composed of the type of subtle or paradoxical discourse that could trouble a translator. And still, my tentative drafts feel all wrong. They're not nonsense, but just off somewhere at some angle. I better explain. Actually, this book of the Yellow Ancestor is not a book. Rather, it is composed of 101 fragments, which I at first assumed to be pithy phrases about life or a set of directions for spiritual practices. Now I'm not sure, but that it is actually the diary of a housewife, equivalent to a laundry list, or the travel journal of a garrulous lunatic, or a set of directions for operating some partially biological machine which no longer exists. The work of translation, as you might imagine, is confusingly dependent on my changing notions of these contexts. Well, whatever the cause, there do seem to be some blocks in the way of progress. That's an understatement. The truth is that certain sections of this manuscript make me almost positive that it is a modern forgery, or that I am going crazy. There's even this one section. Let me find it for you here. Yes, I have worked this passage over a dozen times, and it persists on coming out the exact same way. It seems to be describing a young woman reading some sort of popular novel. I quote, "Margot lies back on the couch in her apartment and opens a book. She turns the pages slowly until she finds her place. Her lips move slightly along with the words she reads like a child."
Chapter 9. At the clinic. The man in bandages stands up slowly and walks over to the window. The sunlight is bright, and perhaps a ghost of it filters in through the many layers of gauze that cover his face. But there's no need to speculate. Actually, the light is felt by the man in bandages as heat, non-specific. He translates it into whatever suits him. This morning, a certain theater in flames. Once his facial parts are sufficiently warm, he speaks to his visitor, a figure in white.
I'm Ravensburg. I remember you, your voice, the smell of your hair, from long ago, from a dream. I've dreamed every night since they brought me here. Who are you?
The figure does not answer.
He has robbed and beaten me. These bandages come off tomorrow and then... Who are you?
Ravensburg says suddenly, with an unusual amount of emotion. The man in the next bed groans. Ravensburg continues.
Here at the clinic, they treated me well. After the operation, they offered to spice my recuperation with all sorts of improvements. They offered plastic surgery, a new face. But I wanted to keep the scars. But you, what about you?
Ah, there you are, number 10. You know you're not allowed out of the ward. Nurse, is anyone else disturbing the others?
Enough book. Record player. Stories about mental illness make me nervous. I keep thinking I'm a nurse at this clinic. Actually, it's a small sanitarium in the mountains. I'm a minor character who has her own little life. A boyfriend, a bicycle, a little house in the village. And I receive the major dramatic events not in a direct and concerned way, but from a distance, like I'm overhearing two people I'll never see again while I'm doing something else. Crazy, huh? I've been feeling jumpy ever since my boyfriend disappeared. 3 weeks ago, we went out to sell something he found on the streets. He finds things all the time, but he never came back. So I thought he was dead or something, and I called all the precincts in every hospital, but nobody had ever heard of him. So now I'm like a war bride or something, and then I get this postcard with a picture of some guy I don't even know on it. Can you believe it? Dear Margot, I can't say where I am because there's some people probably looking for me.
I ran into some good luck and some trouble. I'll send for you.
Send for me? He didn't even sign it, and he wants me to give up my job and go someplace? I can hardly stand living with him here where I got people I know. So now he's gonna write to me from Cloud Cuckoo Land and say, come on out, the weather's fine, pack your ermines, Margot. I love him. It's just stupid, you know? It's like we don't know how to love each other, but we love each other anyway, and we try, but it comes out stupid. Well, I've been feeling nervous. I've been feeling like wherever I am, a certain someone has been there just before me. Crazy, huh? This postcard is postmarked Indianapolis, Indiana. Do you know what I think of when I think of Indianapolis, Indiana? It's like it reminds me of something that's not it. Some other place I don't particularly want to dream about.
Outskirts of some city, for miles alongside highways, feeding out into suburban streets, and I'm walking. And I keep looking over my shoulder to see if anyone's behind me. I have the damn thing below the bag around my neck, and I'm heading south, and I figured I better. After 3 days on the road, I figured I better get inside somewhere. I better read something. I'm in America, coming into town. There's these long stretches of seedy apartment houses, and a couple on the front steps of one of them with a baby, and they're drinking beer, and they say hello by the dark. And they don't even know who they're talking to, you know? But I say hello back, and that seems to be it, because they don't say anything else, and I just keep walking. Okay, now I'm really hungry, but it's a long way between neon. Then finally I see another one in the distance. A red blur, I squint at it wanting to say cafe or eat here or something, but it ends up saying Tri-City Furniture or Red Robin's Autos. Used but not abused. Then finally I see another one in the distance. It's a revolve turning and turning. It says, the embers. We never close. So I go in. I'm here. Jukebox.
Please wait to be seated.
I'm seated. I'm sitting in a chair at this table with the sugar, salt, pepper, napkin, and silverware. I've got the bag hidden under my shirt. I'm reading the menu, section entitled Burgers, Embers Bacon Burger with cheese and tomato, Burger Hawaiian with zesty pineapple, Burger Royale.
What you want?
Yeah, a Burger Royale.
Anything to drink?
Yeah.
What?
Coffee.
Burger Royale!
Burger Royale!
I'm still reading the menu to see if I made a mistake. Baked meatloaf viennese, mushroom sauce, mashed potatoes, vegetable du jour, carrots, peas, cauliflower, creamed corn. And then this guy comes out of the kitchen in a white apron and slides to the seat across from me.
Hello, Slick.
He says.
Got a cigarette?
I give him one, and he says,
Thanks. You, new in town?
then I just look at him. And he looks back at me. And then he just goes away. I can see the TV in the bar alongside the dining room. The waitress flips it on. It's in a funny color, like the tint knob's been twisted. It's tuned into Outer Limits. Okay, I like that. Then she changes the channel. Desert winds, billows of sand, straggling barbed wire. Zoom in past a dead camel covered in flies onto a tattered tent. Inside, at a table covered with maps, sits this man in some kind of uniform. And he looks right at me.
Serving this field commander for a senile and capricious leader is a thankless task. You are blamed for everything, though you simply follow orders. If you fail to develop the psychic strength necessary to deal with the intense and often obscure demands of the situation, you end up in the bird barracks training seagulls to shit on the periscopes of enemy submarines. But you didn't come here to listen to me complain about my station in service. No, you came to learn. I need not remind you that you'll require every bit of your knowledge out here, simply to survive. Our position is hopeless. The enemy is everywhere. He has the material, the momentum, the cooperation of the natives, and time is on his side. We have only our brain power. Life. The reliability of incoming intelligence depends on two factors: the probable truth of the information itself and the credibility of its source. Information that contradicts known facts has a low probability of truth rating. Think of an example. Information coming from a notoriously unreliable source has a low probability rating. Think of an example. Or from some source that could not conceivably have come into possession of the information. Think of an example. Now, even with a mass of scrupulously assessed information, where there is an enemy whose moves you must anticipate, decision-making is complex. The basic rule: the more likely an enemy's action seems, the less likely it becomes, as he will foresee that you will foresee it. He'll change his plans, try to fool you. He's clever. Therefore, the more likely an enemy's action becomes, the less likely it is that he'll resort to exactly that strategy. If it seems impossible, it's certain. Think of an example. We are moving out at dawn to attack point B. I am presently sending out false information that we are going to attack point A. I am also giving out information that we are going to attempt to convince the enemy that we are going to attack point B. Should the enemy intercept any of our real communiques in regard to B, rather than the false ones concerning A, he will think that those actually genuine pieces of information are all part of the attempt to deceive him. I receive many intelligence reports on the enemy daily. I cross-file them carefully in my book of intelligence. I attempt to assess them for their relevance and truth. However, I have not seen the enemy in quite some time, years. But I understand their strategy in this. They wish to convince me that this is all some sort of game. Once the speculation has hold of my mind and I relax my vigilance, they'll be on me like sewer rats, ripping at my throat. But of course...
You see, you torture your mind to find mindless fiddlings for what appears to be ancient wisdom, and you end up revealing the seemingly obscure conversations of military officers, peasants, hotel keepers, fishermen, senile nuns at roadside shrines. It is indicative of the fate of serious scholarship in our time that for the pittance Mistress Augusta pays me, I continue to struggle with this impossibly recalcitrant text. There is one dim light, however. Structure. I am fairly certain that this book presupposes, as a frame device, the existence of a group of companions who were originally 10 in number. Whether these characters relate to actual people or are pure inventions, I have no idea. But the author seems obsessed with their moving about from place to place like peripatetic shadows. The Chinese setting itself is also subject to debate. I have come to believe it may well be a fiction. I am almost certain that this text relies heavily on certain geographical information about China that was plagiarized from a certain child's picture atlas of the world. Though at times it seems that the author must have either misread the source or was intentionally inventing locations which never existed. And yet, this book of the Yellow Ancestor remains somehow fascinating. I understate the case. I've been up with it all night for days. I think of nothing else. It's even crossed my mind that this book may be identical to one or more of the fabled hidden books. The Book of the Black Pilgrimage, the Book of Brightness by Rabbi Isaac the Blind, the legendary Epistle of Illusion and Caution. It's even crossed my mind that Chinese may not be its original language. That this text I hold in my hands is itself a translation, or a translation of a translation of a translation.
Let me out.
What?
We have a dessert.
Give me some pie.
Apple cherry lemon meringue, key lime, rhubarb, pecan, peach, pumpkin, Boston cream.
Raquid,
Breaking my heart. Where are you going?
I'm southbound. Ticket windows.
What's the situation?
Oh, through the sharp hawthorn blows the cold wind.
Too bad. What are you doing about it?
Going south.
How many?
Party one.
If that thing's gonna ride, it needs a ticket.
It'll fit on my lap.
The hell it will. Pay or walk.
They used to let John ride down for free. Traveled everywhere with him. But this is sweet goodbye. You people are in luck. Deep sea Ed's caught short here, so I gotta unload my prized possession. The genuine, preserved, and mummified body of John Wilkes Booth. everything. Affidavits from doctors. Got him framed. Some of them. I got an x-ray photo of the fractured leg where he hit the stage floor. I even got a ring. You can mention that he swallowed it while attempting to disguise himself as he ran. You found it at the mummy's stomach. Even got a B on it. Get it B for Booth. Look, you can make it over Egyptian if you want. Bring it with a battery so it wiggles. Jesus. You people don't know what you're looking at. This attraction took in $500 a day last season. You do that good with what you're showing? Huh? John Wilkes here makes money when everything else on the lot is dead. I built the fucker and I'd run him in a goddamn storefront all winter if I didn't have to go back to Canada. My mother's in a fucking clinic in fucking Winnipeg and you people are hassling me. Look, I don't know what kind of trade you got, but if it ain't fun and fulfilling, try the show business. Hey, I'm begging you. Take him off my hands. Okay? I made my offer. You refused. I'm not saying you won't regret it, because you will. Give me one.
Winnipeg?
Hell no. And can I leave something in the baggage claim? I'll be back to pick it up in a few days.
Will that be all?
What else you got?
Jello.
I'll have some of that Jello.
Red or green? Red or green?
I was telling you, I'm running away because I went in over my head, you know? I mean, I grabbed something good, real good, and I don't know what to do with it. It's the kind of thing, you had it, somebody took it, you kill people to get it back. I have this ring that I found somewhere once, so I'm looking to sell it. And I hear about a guy in an office building. I'm in this corridor, see? Wandering around this office building. Someone's playing a radio behind one of these doors.
I am a dealer in precious stones. This particular favorite of mine first turned up in India in 1712. Supposedly, the raw stone was ripped from the forehead of an Indian idol and fell into the hands of a trader from Sumatra, who was promptly torn to pieces by a pack of rabid dogs. But that, of course, is hearsay. Louis XIV is said to have given it to the lovely Madame Montespan as a mark of royal favor, which she lost soon afterwards. She became a nun at a Spanish convent, where she is rumored to have been badly mistreated by the sisters. It appeared again in London in 1847 as the stick-pin of Prince Ivan Poniatowski, who was murdered by a bellboy at the Connaught Hotel. Abdul Hamid of Turkey possessed it briefly until he was dethroned, and it was sold to Simon Montarides, whose carriage was dragged over a cliff by shying horses near the Borgo Pass, killing him, his wife, and 2 children. What a coincidence. The stone was then placed by his executors in the green vaults of Dresden, which will be mentioned more than once this evening. The American actress who purchased it in 1930 was burned to death in the tragic fire at the Bijou Theatre in Los Angeles. I bought it from her attorneys in 1971. When I came into possession, the stone had its original Indian design, an idiotic waste. The first cutting and faceting had been done in Venice by Joseph Asher. The months of tension preceding his botch of the job caused him to be hospitalized for a nervous disability. A small sanitarium near the Grand Canal, still there, I believe. The decision how to cut and cleave the stone so as to reveal its full power was the most difficult of my life. My final decision was the right one. The stone is now a triple cut brilliant with 101 facets around its table. I did this. I have possessed this stone for 10 years now. I spend each night alone with it.
I'm in this corridor, see? Wandering around this office building. I know the guy's name, but I don't know the number. I try one.
Yes?
Mr. Ravensburg?
Yes, I am Ravensburg.
I'm here to sell something. A ring. It's a family heirloom.
I buy nothing.
But I was told that you could help me out.
I do not buy anything.
You don't buy anything tonight?
Not tonight, not ever.
my mother's wedding ring. This guy, Bernard, he sent me. Do you know Bernard?
I do not have the honor.
Then there must be some mistake. See, I'm looking for a Mr. Ravensburg.
I am Mr. Ravensburg.
But you don't buy anything.
No, here we do cutting and shaping.
Well, maybe there's someone else in this office building named Ravensburg.
No doubt. In this building, it's a very common name.
You know how to read words?
I can read, but there's nothing else for Miles, and I thought I'd ask you personally.
I happen to have one room I always leave empty. Room 10. Last guy I put in there, Pool Hustler from Grand Forks, North Dakota, died in his sleep. He died of a dream.
Well, that's too bad. But I'll lie down anywhere. Besides, I didn't know the guy. His ghost won't trouble me.
Good enough. You woke me up, so tell me some lies. What are you doing here?
Well, there's a man in town that won't be happy till he sells me a dog. I gotta see him.
Good.
Thanks. Hey, I hate to trouble you, but could I get something to eat, a sandwich and a beer or something? I can pay you.
Sorry. Used to have a coffee shop. 24 hours, we never close. My husband ran it. Cook. And a good one, too. But every time he gets 20 bucks in his pocket, he thinks it's time to see the world. Master's been gone for 6 months this time. He'll come back. But I don't suggest you wait up for him. Everything you need is in the room. Towels, magazines. If you get lonely, don't ring my bell.
But I want you people to understand that running scared isn't my full-time occupation. I mean, your mind keeps working too. I'm a writer. I write Margaret postcards. And I read magazines. There's a lot of interesting things you can read in magazines. This one here, the UFO Review, has articles in it like I was transported to Venus and Platillo Bolador, saucer over Brazil.
Fascinating. Listen, I know you're running. Why don't you run with me? I got a little sideline I take out on the road. Deep Sea Edna's Shooting Gallery and Marine Museum. You'll do for setup and takedown. You can feed the fish.
I might be better off on my own. I could bring trouble.
Trouble's a friend of mine. Stay in your tracks. Whoever's looking for you will find you for sure. Probably stab you in your sleep behind a billboard. Go down my road for a while, you'll disappear. Besides, you can help me look around.
For what?
For Ed.
But I don't know anything about fish.
Don't worry. I got an eye for talent. And besides, if people are looking for you, get a disguise. A pair of glasses or something. We leave in the morning, southbound.
But in case you people think I'm only interested in the sensational, there's another article in here that's a bit different. I've been thinking about it, reading it over and over. It's by Mrs. Carl Lamlin, who's someone I'd like to get to know sometime. It's called
The World of Coincidence! All of you are, I'm sure, familiar with what I term the world of coincidence. In this world, events seem to be more connected than they are in our everyday world, where they most often seem random, absurd, if not perniciously unrelated to each other. In the world of coincidence, however, the most common expression is... What a coincidence! For example...
Excuse me, sweetheart. You dropped your pig. I mean, scarf.
Thanks, mister.
Ah, you should say that. Last night I dreamed of a pig. Or...
Oh, excuse me, sweetheart, you dropped your scarf. I mean, pig.
Thanks, mister. Ani should say that. Last night I dreamed of a scarf.
Of course.
I was in the middle of writing my chapter on wind force when a sudden breeze blew my papers all over the room.
Remarkable. Odd you should say that. Last night I dreamed of papers blowing all around me.
Yes, our common idea of cause and effect is succinctly illustrated by the common expression, just one thing after another. This notion is linked to
our childish ideas of the nature of space and time. In the world of coincidence, these ideas are null and void. In man's original mind, as we find it among primitive peoples, space and time have a very precarious existence. They become fixed concepts only in the course of our mental development. Actually, the truth is, in themselves, space and time consist of nothing. They are only concepts born of the discriminating activity of the conscious mind. They do, however, form the indispensable coordinates for describing bodies in motion. Think of an example. A ball rolling down an incline, a man traveling south along a certain highway. Let's get on with it, shall we? I have been keeping a personal journal of coincidence for the past 30 years. After a very fruitful year or two, the question arises forcefully in the seeking mind. Was I simply more aware of these coincidences by keeping this journal, or was I making them happen? In any case, some convincing examples from the collection. You ask me, what were the names of the 3 men who murdered Dr. Barry at Green Hill? Ed Green, Ted Barry, and Fred Hill. Fact. John McCabe of Fulham Road in the Bronx, New York, was listening to a record of Cry of the Wild Goose by Frankie Lane when a Canadian goose crashed through his bedroom window. Fact. The Danforth family of Peru, Indiana, was watching the sinking of the Titanic on a TV movie of the week. Just as the iceberg hits the ship, a large block of ice falls through the roof of their ranch-style home, smashes the TV to smithereens. Fact. Alfonso Bedoya was crossing Princess Canal in Amsterdam when he was struck and killed by a green taxi carrying a passenger named Ravensburg. His brother, Armando Bedoya, was also struck and killed while crossing Princess Canal in Amsterdam by a green taxi carrying a passenger named Ravensburg 10 years later. Fact! At times, an expert witness can coincidentally be at the scene of the coincidental, as when Dr. A.D. Batchkoff, the noted ichthyologist visiting the United States, was bombarded with fish falling from the sky shortly after having breakfast in Biloxi, Mississippi. Fact! But let's take a more ordinary example. Let's say you decide to go to the Oculus shop to get a pair of glasses. You walk into the shop past the display of glasses and frames. A bell rings. Once inside, you realize the shop seems to also be the outlet for the books of a certain company called Sublime Publications.
Introducing Mr. Zandavesta, my employer in this suspect venture. He should have just finished his usual breakfast. Quail eggs in which the blebs of fertilization have been removed, lace cake, jambu juice, and jello. As the fisherman can infer the presence of a great whale from a single bubble on the sea, so Mr. Zandavesta claims to be able to discern
The Book of the Yellow Ancestor. The translation. You finished.
You're joking.
The wisdom of the Yellow Emperor is no joking matter. You're almost finished.
I've made some headway, but this text still seems extremely unreliable.
Well, unreliable to you, perhaps a rock of sanity to me. Forge ahead. Translate. What have you got so far?
There are some completed sections, but they're very odd. I don't...
My ears are yours.
Okay. I'm fairly certain about this one. The Genie's Pharmacy, prescription 10. Being a small duckling on rose petals that have been soaked in blood and oil. When the duck grows, kill it, crush it, dry it, feathers and all, and take 1 teaspoon of this powder every day for 300 days.
That's it.
That section, yeah.
And for what condition is this the cure?
It doesn't say.
Of course.
I could have been mistaken about the character of a prescription. Perhaps document or dispatch.
Please. Sublime Publications owes you a debt it can never repay. Your photo on the jacket. A certainty. Tell me, are there any passages that seem to be directions to a place?
Not yet.
Well, keep at it. Don't fail me. I'm leaving shortly for the Oculist Convention near Mexico City. I'm sure you'll be kind enough to join me there. We'll work together by the pool. Perhaps a change of scene might calm your fevered brain. Your ticket.
Anybody here?
Excuse me, a customer. Wait here. Browns. Yes?
I'd like to get a pair of clear glass with just glass in them, you know?
I know. Read the top line, please.
I can't make any sense of that.
Fine. Lie down. This will only take a moment.
Mr. Zandavesta used to be an optical lens grinder in Chicago. He lived in a small room in the Diamond Hotel. He was a bachelor. He used to spend a lot of time thinking about the nature of this life we lead and contemplating his own particular destiny. He would often lay awake nights, turning these 2 questions over in his mind like dice in a cage. One day, he was walking down West Madison Street and he happened upon a man in a sandwich board sign which read, "We live inside." The man was also selling pamphlets for 10 cents titled, "We live inside." The lens grinder bought a copy. Years later, he could be heard to remark,
I read it in bed before I fell asleep that night. I was inside.
What did you say?
Just as I suspected, the green quinsy invariably leads to blindness and insanity. This condition requires an immediate surgical procedure.
Hey, look, I just...
Stop! I know what you think. I can anticipate your query, and the answer is, would I tell you you needed an operation if you didn't?
I'll take my chances. Just give me glasses and I'll get out of here.
Perhaps you'd like to purchase a new face. Something so attractive that social graces will become unnecessary. You'll be able to get away with it if you follow me.
No thanks. I'll be going now.
Just a moment. You seem like a valuable young man who's in trouble. I'm preparing an expedition and currently attempting to hire a muscular assistant who's not bright enough to cause any harm. You see, I have every senator and representative in the Congress of our United States a registered letter on the letterhead of Sublime Publications appealing to them for the immediate financing to equip us for the adventure. As soon as these funds arrive, we depart. I'll take you where policemen and jewelers will never find you. We'll even send for Margot.
Margot? How do you know...
Where are we going, you ask? Young man, the new cosmogony has been revealed to me. The key is simple. We live inside the Earth. Modern astronomers are perfectly correct, except they have everything inside out. The entire cosmos is like an egg. We live on the inner surface of a hollow shell, and within the hollow are the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets in all their courses. What, you ask, is outside the shell? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The inside is all there is, but at a certain point within the shell there is a hole. A tiny hole through which a man can enter that endless effluvium of endless absence to annihilate himself in bliss. I'm talking to you about the resurrection with a difference.
Yeah.
As soon as the exact location of this hole has been revealed, the funds assembled, we set out. We have, of course, been subjected to insolent ridicule in our attempts to bring this knowledge before the public.
Did you ever think about UFOs?
The things that you call unidentified flying objects are neither objects nor flying nor unidentified. We know very well who they are. Wait here, Browns.
You read any of these?
Some of them,
They interesting?
some of them.
Tell them I couldn't stay, huh? And good luck with your expedition.
I doubt I'll be going. Hey, what's your name?
Yes?
I'm not interested in your philosophy. I want to pick up a pair of glasses.
Name?
Mrs. Carl Lamley.
Mr. Zandavesta claims to have the most complete collection of the occult, excepting only the libraries found in the Green Vault at Dresden. I wonder if there is a manuscript copy of the Book of the Black Pilgrimage, or the Epistle of Illusion and Caution. The 9 Holes of Su Ling. Amorous Adventures of a Hong Kong Call Girl. Oh, here's one by Captain Ernest Devereux. Venus in India. The Memoirs of a Gallant Soldier. Oh, and this one. Now, this one's got an odd frontispiece. It's an engraving of a long corridor, anonymous office building. And I can see a door ajar at the end. A man sits at a table, a safe behind him. Diamond dust and oil coat his fingers.
I am the dealer in precious stones. I know them. They're sound. They're crystal homes.
Crystal homes.
I'm a patient man. I studied in Amsterdam for 10 years to learn to mark the stones for the chisel, 10 more years to clean. Place the chisel, kiss it, and the stone falls into its parts. Like men, one tap, and into parts invisible. Now the stone I love has been stolen from me, and I will have it back, and I will wash it clean in the thief's blood. I'll explain myself if you don't mind. I met a girl once. She was a Dutch girl, and she worked in a bookstore in Amsterdam on Prince's Canal. Children's books. She also played the flute in an amateur orchestra. I came to buy a book for my brother's son in America for his birthday. She helped me choose. I chose one about a monkey.
A monkey.
I stared at her the whole time. She was not embarrassed. We had coffee. She loved me. When I tell it to you now, it is difficult, even for me who lived it, to believe. For a year, she brought me into the world. We went to cafes, the theater, even to the countryside. At home, she would watch as I marked the stone. She was quiet and asked for nothing. I thought I was reborn under a new sun. One night, she met the conductor of the State Symphony at a party at the university. The next week, she went to live with him in a house in a suburb of Amsterdam. For a month, I could not believe this simple truth. The smell was everywhere. After she moved away, I cut the stone. It had arrived here at all, and I was months delayed, staring at her as she watched me. I always felt that my mark was wrong, and if I cut, the stone would fall into worthless fragments. That night, I opened the Zohar to the Book of Brightness, and though I read it without understanding, it called me. I erased my mark, and then I bled from my nose and my mouth, and the blood flowed down onto the stone, a translucent coat of my blood, and the stone shone clearer than ever. I remember the open Zohar, the blood, the light, the diamond dust from the polisher, the view out over the canal, the passing boats of the tourists, and then, almost without my noticing, the tap of the hammer on the blade. Once, I spent my night looking into the facets of the stone to see the past, the future, and the roads between. Now, I can only see my mind's picture of it. I can't find the thief, but I see something he'll follow as I follow the stone. Do you see it, General? See it!
Private work can be distressing to a professional soldier. Right, sir. Just give me the information and we'll screw the enemy to the wall.
Into the 10th passage, an apartment in this city. She's dreaming, and she thinks my eye is something in her dream. She wells, opens a novel. Odd book, must read it sometime. She closes the book. She turns on the TV. Perfect. General, grab your hat and stick. We have work to do.
My Sony is a one-way communication system, sending me words and pictures that never end. They're always changing, and despite this, I always understand them. My TV can communicate with me if I am awake and watching. To communicate with me means to say stuff or show me stuff I understand. If you say something to me I don't understand, we're not communicating, are we? If I say something to you, you don't understand, we're not communicating. Are we? But we're communicating right now. If we continue to communicate like this, so we understand each other, it'll only lead to little ripples in our context. This world of common words and pictures that allows us to communicate in the first place. Like me and my TV. It never does much more than give a little shuffle to the cards I've already got. It's pleasant, but now I'm turning it off. I need a new deck.
General, do something! I'm not interested in her philosophy!
Why don't you forget everything you know about all that and let us get on with it?
If we step out of this pleasant sensation of understanding and the world that makes it possible, we stop communicating. These postcards from my lover are perfect. Notes from somewhere else, torn up and delivered by the wind.
Why don't you forget everything you know about all that and let us get on with it?
I miss the crazy bastard. I did book, I did TV, now record player.